everyone, welcome to another Ultimate Fighter episode review, the last one I'll be doing for this week. Thank God it is Season 30, Episode 4, titled Opportunity Knocks, and a lot of changes happened for this one, so you know what, I'll get into them now. So, we were obviously supposed to get the fight between Brogan Walker of Team Nunes and Chantel Coates of Team Pena. However, we started with a couple of complications with that. For example, when Brogan was training, we actually started with the training session for Team Nunes for prep for the fight that was supposed to happen. And Brogan blew out her knee. And she did go to the doctor and get the good news that her knee is completely fine and she was completely prepared to continue on with the fight, which is really good. What's not so good is what happened to Chantel because of what she brought up in the last episode with her like health issues and weight issues and like her hormones going wild and things like that. They really badly affected her weight. And she told the coaches about it. Well, actually, yeah, the coaches came over to the house and she told them about it, and she said she was around 254.5 pounds, and Pena said that the biggest weight cut she had was 23 pounds in 10 days, which can't have been easy for her to do. And one of Pena's coaches even says, like, the most I've seen a woman do in, like, 5 days amount of time is 10 pounds, 12, if they're really pushing it. And this is something worth bringing up, because I don't think people realise how fucking harsh the weight cut is when it comes to MMA. Like, the training is all fine, you know, maybe dieting is okay, getting into the fight is obviously a lot of fun, but the weight cut is always the most arduous part, and Chantel knew that she was not going to be able to cut around 30 pounds in 5 to 6 days. So, with that in mind, the coaches wanted to keep her safety in mind, and they said it was probably best if she didn't fight, and she agreed. And I am glad that they came to that conclusion, because I did not want to see her torturing herself just to make this fight, especially after, like, not just the physical strain it would put on her, but all the mental strain following the fact that she went through tragedy before even getting to this season. Anyway, with that agreement, she does leave the house, and Team Pena brings in an alternate named Laura Gallardo. And Laura Gallardo is quite an interesting person, not just because she's, for one thing, quite adorable, but for another thing, she actually fought Helen Peralta, excuse me, who was the last women's fight on the season. She fought back in episode 2 and lost. And when they fought, Laura actually beat Helen by split decision in a decision that Helen said in a backstage interview thing. She thought that was bullshit, but she did commend Laura for being able to stand with her. So, yeah, Helen has a lot of respect for Laura. With that in mind, while Team Pena are training, they actually call over Amanda Nunes and her wife, and they talk about the fact that they have an alternate now. And because Amanda picked this fight, they asked her if she wanted to change who the opponent was. And they do. They go back to their dressing room, and they decide to ask around who wants to fight. Laura and Catherine Paprocki of Team Nunes raises her hand. And yeah, that's the fight we get for this episode. Not Brogan Walker versus Chantel Coates as advertised. But hopefully we'll get Brogan in a couple of episodes' time, because I really like to see her fight. But we get Catherine Paprocki of Team Nunes versus Laura Gallardo from Team Pena. Next is the video packages / background. So Catherine is from Colorado, I think. She actually created her own gym with her husband Steve. She has a couple of kids with him. And she actually has a stutter. And we actually also find out when she's talking with Brogan that Brogan actually tells Catherine that Bobby Maximus also has a stutter. Bobby is one of the heavyweights on Team Pena, and I found that quite interesting. Bobby's isn't as pronounced, but it is nice to see people with disabilities like that gain more representation. As someone with a mental disability myself, it is something I actually like to see, and Catherine is just such a lovely person. You know, she just comes off as really positive and very happy, and she's got no issues talking about her stutter at all. Also have Laura's background. She has a boyfriend named Jesse, and they have a very fluffy dog named Zuli. I don't know the breed of the dog, but I know it's white and fluffy and adorable. And yeah, basically that's really all we get for Laura. Obviously we don't have as much knowledge about her considering she's an alternate. This is her first appearance. And yeah, that's really all I have on Laura's stuff. But you know, she obviously grew up like... She was a bit of a tomboy growing up, and she got into jiu-jitsu, like, in the last year of high school for her. So, yeah, that's how she became enamored with fighting and got into that. That being said, I know it wasn't a lot about Laura, but there wasn't really a lot that I was given. We'll just move on to the training. So the training for them is quite simple for Laura. She's a really good wrestler. Stick to the wrestling. Utilize your movement. Try and stay as close to Catherine at all possible times. Duck any strikes she might have. Take her down, keep her down. pretty simple stuff. Keep her against the cage, do what wrestlers usually do. Whereas for Catherine, it's a bit different. She's a bit more versatile. She's better at the stand-up game, and she does have good submissions in her. However, the main focus is to avoid the takedown, utilize her body movement, utilize her striking, try and stay out of Laura's range, and yeah, basically try and keep standing, try and finish her on the feet, and if it goes to the ground, try and get a submission. And one thing I do want to bring up as well for Catherine's training and prep is that she mentions how positive of a coach Amanda Nunes is, and I was just thinking, yeah, she is. You know, she's actually quite happy to be like teaching and training, and she has a lot of knowledge. And you know, I like Amanda's approach to coaching. She's got a really good knack for this stuff. Actually, really quickly, I do remember I did want to bring in the weigh-in for this. So in a backstage thing, Laura says she's not here to shake and like make friends or smile, even though she's actually quite a bubbly person, it seems to be. And after she and Catherine weigh in, Catherine actually offers her hand to shake, and Laura turns and rejects it before she even notices it's there, which I found quite interesting. We can get to the fight itself, and immediately Lauren just goes straight for a takedown, and she's just pushing Catherine against the cage a lot. Lands a good couple of knees, doesn't fully manage to secure a takedown yet, I don't think. I think she actually might have gotten one, and then Catherine manages to get off and escape from it. And when they're standing back up, Catherine actually throws some good shots, but Laura, I found out, actually has some really good hands. She lands some really good hook combos and some really good stuff to the body too. Throws a good leg kick at some point. Catherine is keeping her at bay with some really good sharp jab combos. I think she needed to set more stuff up with the jab, however, she was keeping her distance well, but Catherine kept finding ways to close in on her. There was a good moment near the end of round one where she went for a takedown, but sort of faked it, landed a good couple of punches upstairs, then got the clinch against the cage, then got the takedown again. And I think that was actually more halfway through the fight, through the first round, I could be wrong about that. But yeah, Laura was able to keep Catherine at bay, managed to keep her down quite easily. Catherine did manage to eventually get up again, and Laura did actually shoot for another takedown near the end of the round, but Catherine was able to avoid it. Catherine used her striking quite well, managed to keep her distance. So round one fairly easily goes to Laura. Her takedowns were just on another level. Her clinch game was really, really good. She was doing some good dirty boxing, throwing some good knees. I would say in terms of striking, it goes to Catherine, but in terms of overall control and winning an actual round, I think it goes to Laura. Then we get to round two, and Laura seems a bit more content to stand and strike with Catherine, throw some really good stuff, and eventually, about a minute in, gets a takedown, and keeps Catherine down for literally the entirety of the round. She keeps moving, keeps repositioning herself, even gets a good side control position and lands an elbow, and even causes a massive hematoma on Catherine's left cheek. And there is a moment actually where Catherine almost gets a triangle, and she did need to shuffle it a little bit, but she almost got it in. However, Laura was able to sidestep and escape from it and just keep control throughout the rest of the round. Not really much else to talk about this, and Catherine... I almost said, hang on, no, wrong person. Laura would secure the win by majority decision after just 2 rounds. So no real complaints about the winner of the fight. I absolutely think Laura winning was the right call. She did all the right stuff to win it. However, I'm begging for a finish at this point. I know we're only 4 episodes in. It's a third of the way through the show, and I have to wait till next week to see the next episode. But I'd like a finish at some point. That being said, Team Pena does sort of get control back at the fights. I don't know. I don't really like how this new, how the teams pick fights system works. Because, I think it should be if your side wins the last fight, you should keep control of it. However, Team Pena's fighter won the last episode, but Nunes picked this episode's fight. It's really fucking weird. But still, the next fight is going to be Bobby Maximus from Team Pena versus Eduardo from Team Nunes. I don't remember his surname. Perez. Totally didn't have to look that up on Wikipedia, but still, that will about do it for this episode review. I am quite looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to seeing what the other heavyweights can bring, especially Bobby, considering that he was a contestant on Season 2. It's nice to see a good comeback fighter, and I think he's the oldest guy in the house, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring against the number 1 pick for Team Nunes, and the number 1 heavyweight pick overall. So yeah, that's going to be quite interesting. As for what's next, well, tomorrow. Music of the Week, it'll be episode 69. So looking forward to doing that. I've got 2 more albums to grade, but still, I'll get them done. I'll probably get the episode out tomorrow. And after that, Friday night, more Sunset Overdrive streaming. So I'll see you all for that, and as always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye bye.